Swiss franc. A very good opportunity that has printed. We're already in the short position. I'm just gonna break it down as to how we came about taking this position, right? So there's two things I always talk to you about, which is the confirmation entry, right? Getting the confirmation entry and taking the trade based on the confirmation. So let's break this down, tracking back into this point of interest. So we saw as the market came approached this point of interest, we were printing higher highs and higher lows, and we had the risk entry that was taken based on this time frame, and the setup played out to the T. Obviously, if you look down, or rather you scale down in the smaller time frames, you would have found your change in character, or rather your confirmation entry there. But let's assume you did not, right? And you see, as it went down, as the market broke down, it left another point of interest here, right? You will see it clearly on the daily time frame, which I'll show you. But let's just use this one here. You see, similar take again, printed higher highs and higher lows towards that zone. Then we obviously had this here that just changed character. And where are we now? We came back again into this point of interest, and we are looking to go down yet again. Okay, at least to this first leg here, right? This is where I'll be taking profit. I do anticipate it going further down, but this is my take profit area. But the purpose of this video is to discuss entries and not take profit or trade management. So let's break it down. I want to break it down for you here. So you can see that this order block, rally base drop, supply zone. So this, it's a textbook setup. So it's a rally base drop, supply, right? So obviously we saw the previous 4 hours, the market tapped in there, the last 4 hours tapped in there, and now we are pushing away from that zone, showing signs that we are actually dropping to the downside. So we already in a trade, that's fine. We've got order fair value gap that was printed there. We've got some liquidity. So this is a very high setup, high probability setup. Why do I say that? It also forms a part of a flip zone. So there's quite a lot of stuff, especially around confluences, that gives us the edge with this setup. So we just have to wait and see if it will play out accordingly. But a high probability setup for it to push down. So now I just want to show you something. We have taken the shorts. Okay, we have taken the shorts. Remember, I always talk about confirmation risk entries and confirmation entries. There are pros and cons for that. Some of the cons for a confirmation entry. Well, let's talk about the pros first. The pros for confirmation entries is that they're high probability and they offer you a very tight stop that, as a result, increasing your risk to reward. Okay, so it increases your risk to reward, your risk to reward, and it also provides you very tight stops. But the cons is that sometimes, or rather, the market doesn't always give you the confirmation entry. Sometimes it just gives the risk entries and it just flies. All right. So let's quickly see if one is not in a position right now in this particular position. What is it that you want to do? Or if one says, okay, I want to then approach this with a risk confirmation, how would you go about that? Obviously, a risk confirmation is all about scaling down to the lower time frames. All right. So one of the things that I always say is that I would advise that if one wants to take a risk entry, or rather confirmation entry, pardon me, is you can look at two types of confirmations. Okay. So we can see right now we've got this fair value gap here, right? It's this imbalance that could offer you a trade opportunity. So a pullback into that zone, we could get a trade there. So this is one of the confirmation setups. So we've got three, I use four confirmation setups. So this is one of them, right? So in this particular case, one can look at the fair value gap there on the 1 hour time frame. So what you want to do is scale down maybe to the 50 minutes and see here. All right. So there we go, very strong zone. So we can see also we have been provided with the shift there. So we can either go there or even test that decision point of this order block here. even a little bit further back into that zone there. So that's how one can approach with this confirmation entry. So ideally, I would say this is the approach. If one is waiting for confirmation entry, you can look to see if the market will pull back into this area or just shoot straight down. But pretty much once you've got that in place, this is then would be your approach. Let's assume you get your stops. Your stops then need to be above this here. I like putting my stops above the overall high. I mean, this is 17 pips, it's not that much. Uh, and then your take profit, obviously, at that leg down there. So we are seeing this as a 1 is to 4, almost a 5 return on this setup here. But this is if it does give you with the confirmation entry. But yeah, that's it. USDCHF, this is the current setup. Let us see if the market will play into our favor in accordance with our methodology and strategy. So all we have to do is just wait so that our edge can play out. Until then, thank you. See you next time. Cheers.